This one is in fact very interesting. I have never heard of this at all. America's Secret Underground Cheese Bunkers by the Fat Electrician. I have no idea what this is. Apparently, the Americans are storing cheese in bunkers. We'll see what that is about. Let's go.
This has almost nothing to do with the US military, but it's so ridiculous I can't not talk about it. Today we're talking about America's Strategic Cheese Reserve. Yeah, if you didn't know, the
Strategic Cheese Reserve? There is a literal cheese reserve. I need to move to the other side, but there is a literal cheese reserve out there. I have just half a body. I got Gojo.
The United States currently has over 500 underground...
And I need to move the chat as well. I should move the chat as well for this one. Okay, now. Just making sure.
Cave warehouses spanning across 35 different states, the largest of which is underneath Springfield, Missouri, where America, as of August 2022, currently hoards 1.5 billion pounds of cheese.
Bro, that is cheese. If there's ever an actual cheese of truth, you will find it there. How else would they keep their mac and cheese? Where's the rest of you? In the void.
And just for the record, I realize I'm uploading this video very close to April Fool's Day. This is not an April Fool's joke. I am 100% serious. El Dorado is real, and Uncle Sam made it out of cheese.
Look, El Dorado, the city of gold.
And I know what you're thinking. Right now, you're like, wow, that's a cool little factoid. I can't wait to share that with my buddy at the bar one day. But no, this is gonna infect your thoughts for the rest of your life. You're never gonna see the world through the same lens ever again. I mean, for example, let's just say you're at home watching The Walking Dead. You're gonna come to the realization there'd be way more fucking cheese in the apocalypse than...
There's a cheese bunker call. It's some good news. No! 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 Now that I realize this, you could look for this cheese in The Walking Dead. In the apocalypse. Don't forget the moon's made of cheese. They have a cheese bunker on the moon. This is why America was so desperate to get to the moon. They harvested all the cheese. Or they really wanted all the cheese.
Okay, you're never going to be able to watch Mad Max again without thinking about cheese. You have to come to the terrifying realization.
Right, the milking, the breeders, or whatever that was.
That you live in a world where there is a greater than 0% chance that one of these underground cheese caves gets mistaken for a government facility and gets nuked in World War III, and we're gonna have to deal with a radioactive tsunami wave of nacho cheese. And this is real life. So I asked myself one question: how on earth did America get to this point? Because I know it didn't happen overnight. And what I found was the craziest real-world example of a butterfly effect that I have ever seen. And believe it or not, it all actually ties back in with last week's video of the ice cream ships of World War II.
There's just 1 billion pounds of cheese in the US. That's crazy. What kind of cheese are they storing, though? That's the question. Are they storing the glibbery shit, right? Or are they storing... good question. I'm curious. I'm infinitely curious, too. What are they storing? Self-regenerating cheese monster! Cheesezilla.
If you missed that, the super abbreviated version, basically the US government banned alcohol during Prohibition in the 1920s. Because of that, all the bars in America turned themselves into ice cream parlors to stay in business. Ice cream stepped up to fill the social void left by alcohol. If so facto, there was like 2 generations of Americans that treated ice cream like it was alcohol, socially speaking. As I'm sure you can imagine, this would drive up dairy consumption. Combine that with the fact that the 30s and 40s is when refrigeration would become readily accessible, meant that for the first time in human history there was such a demand for dairy products that farmers could exclusively become dairy farmers, meaning that this would be the birth of the entire dairy industry. And honestly, it worked out great, right up until it didn't in 1949.
Are you telling me they overproduced cheese? And that's the reason? Are you telling me they overproduce cheese? Cheese makes me gag unless it's melted. Oh, you're odd. There's many different types of cheese there. Cheese.
4 years after World War II, the American military is downsized, there's not an entire horde of young men eating 10,000 calories a day, and America's not exporting anywhere near as much food to other countries for war relief, meant that there was a decrease in dairy consumption, or a dip in the dairy market. As this became a bigger and bigger problem, the government had to step in because they weren't about to let the entire dairy industry implode, because, I mean, let's face it, that would be utter catastrophe. So the USDA stepped in and said, hey, you know...
Oh no, not the cow movie. Not the barn movie. Oh no, I remember that one. Excuse me, I'm not odd. Yeah, no, you're odd. What do you mean you gag when you eat just cheese when it's not melted? Cheese makes you melt, what the fuck?
You know what, we're gonna buy all the excess milk. Okay, pause. Thought experiment. You're a dairy farmer. You make all of your money by selling milk, and then suddenly, a couple years back, motherfuckers quit drinking milk, aka you made less money. Now the government has come out of left field and said, hey, we're gonna buy all of the milk. What do? You make more fucking milk. And that's exactly what happened. So just to be clear, there was already...
They just produce cheese. Raw cheese makes me gag, bro. It's vile. It does not make you less... That does not make you less odd. Mel on pizza toast. Gimme. You're exactly like my little brother. That's horrible.
Too much milk. Now there's definitely gonna be too much milk. So naturally, all the milk starts flowing in. The government has absolutely no idea what to do with it, so they turn it into cheese, that way it doesn't expire. That part makes sense, but now what do you do with all the cheese? They have no clue, so they just throw it underneath a mountain, ignore it, and hope the problem goes away. But it doesn't go away because
You bunker it. You bunker it. And then you have just... billion of cheese. And you don't know what to do with it.
Single presidential administration through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, they all continue to buy up excess milk to prop up the dairy industry, turn it into cheese, and stash it away in these caves. It literally turns into a giant political game of kick the can down the road because nobody wants to be the president that crashes the global economy by not buying enough milk while sitting on top of a mountain of cheese, which, understandable, I don't want to be that guy either. Then, fast forward to 1980, Ronald Reagan, aka the small government guy, gets elected, finds out that the US government is sitting on top of 500 million pounds of cheese and spending $1 million a day to refrigerate and store it, and he looks at this whole issue like a beaver looks at running water. Absolutely fucking not. We can't have it. So his administration goes about figuring out the cheapest way to solve this cheese problem. Obviously, we're gonna throw it all in the ocean. However, having at least the foresight to understand that that would cause political backlash, he wanted to see how the public would receive it, so someone from his administration shows up to a White House press conference.
Imagine you might be known as the cheese president. That could be horrible. Why am I being attacked right now? Can't a girl have dietary preferences anymore? No, you can. That's still weird, though. That's still odd. I'm sorry. It's just odd. You do you, though. You do you. It's still odd.
With a 5-pound block of moldy cheese and is like, hey, we got 500 million pounds of this shit. How would you guys feel if we threw it in the ocean? It'll be fun. We'll save money on cheese. We're going to find out if blue whales are lactose intolerant. It's going to be a great science experiment. The public did not go for it. They kind of felt like, hey, I've paid taxes for the last 40 years. You've turned those taxes in.
So you're saying that the ocean could consist of cheese now instead of water? That's an L move. I must admit, that's an L move. We could literally bathe in cheese. Cheese ocean. The Atlantic cheese ocean. The Gulf of cheese. The Pacific cheese. The red cheese. Cheese oceans.
To cheese, I would at least like the cheese. So then the Reagan administration took the 55-gallon drums of cheese, cut it up into 5-pound blocks, packaged it, and spent the remainder of his administration funneling 300 million pounds of cheese into impoverished and elderly homes. And this is where we get the saying, government cheese, from.
You're gonna end up
eating a steady diet of government cheese, and living in a van down by the river.
The US government would then continue to give out government cheese until the 1990s when they seemingly ran out, because as of today, all 1.5 billion pounds of underground secret cheese in America is privately owned by corporations like Kraft and Velveeta. And this is the part where I wanted to end the video on a happy note of the government made a mistake, they fixed a mistake over 50 years, happy ending, hooray. However, it didn't really make sense because something happened in the 1990s where the government...
But why do we still have that much cheese? That's the question. Remember when they threw tea into the sea? Ah, the strawberry sea. I could see it. Yeah. Moses pouring the red Leicester Sea. The red Gouda Sea. I could see it.
Was able to stop buying the excess milk. What happened? And that's when it hit me. It was absolutely the Got Milk ad campaign, the biggest, most iconic ad campaign of all time. I mean, every cafeteria in every school in America had a bunch of posters of famous athletes with milk mustaches saying, "Got milk, drink your milk." I vividly remember commercials as a child telling me that if I didn't drink enough milk, my arms would literally fall off my body.
Well, Mr. Miller told me he never drinks milk. Look at him.
What the fuck is that ad? That's a sign, chat. Drink your milk. Go ahead. Right now. Drink it.
No, that's not good.
Got milk.
Surely this is what inspired an entire generation of Americans to eat and drink more dairy.
Ads were different. Ads were different. Ads were just built different. I need more ads like this. What the fuck? In 2,000 years, when Europe bands together and deletes USA, they will uncover all the well-preserved aged cheese. We're gonna handle cheese like we handle currency now. That's gonna happen. Like, you're gonna pay with like something that costs €3 will now be 3 slices of cheese.
Dairy products, right? I mean, yeah, probably, but looking back on it now as an adult, doesn't it seem just a little bit weird that it wasn't a particular company putting on all these ads? Like, if there wasn't one company profiting from selling all this milk, where was all the money coming from? I mean, it almost seems like the government launched a giant psychological operation, ad campaign, just so that they could offload milk so they wouldn't have to keep contributing to their mountain of cheese. Well, I'm gonna take this off now because that's legit.
Yeah, imagine the cheese conspiracy. We have like flat Earth, super Earth, I don't know, space Nazis, and then there's the cheese conspiracy. That was what we have. Crazy.
Exactly what happened. In 1995, the US government created a non-profit organization known as Dairy Management Incorporated, and their entire job was to get the American people to eat and drink more dairy products. Literally a cabal of individuals plotting behind the scenes to get people to eat more cheese. It's the cheesiest conspiracy of all time, and I'm not even kidding. Anything that has ever been sold or marketed that involved way too much cheese on it, this company is behind. Okay, they're the reason that Taco Bell started selling steak quesadillas. They were behind the Got Milk ad campaign.
They're just forcing people to sell cheese and milk. 2,000 years, you said America is here for like 300. It probably will, to be honest. Hopefully, that'd be terrifying. Because what other places would disappear? Regardless, if there's an apocalyptic event, just locate where there's a cheese bunker. Fun fact, the US doesn't want you to know the moon is actually one of their cheese storehouses. Space cheese.
Campaign. In 2002, when Pizza Hut had the Summer of Cheese event where they put way too much cheese on all their pizzas, this is who was behind it. In 2010, when Domino's almost went out of business, they gave Domino's $12 million to stay in business and then gave them a bunch of cheese so that they could put extra cheese on all of their pizzas, and that was their entire proposition for staying in business. Hey, our pizzas have more cheese on them now, so they're good. It is absolutely insane. So I did it. I found the world's cheesiest conspiracy, but then I found leaked internal documents from DMI.
There's even leaked internal documents. Who knows? Maybe they even have a space station where they store their cheese. Modern cheese, all kinds, was also invented a few hundred years ago. Because the first use of cheese in history. Apparently, cheese invented over 10k years. Well, that would make sense. That's not unlikely. If the cheese bunkers get bombed, we could have mutant rats. Domino's Pizza is banging. We don't even have that here. Bro, this is crazy. I thought this was like, haha, funny video, cheese bunker. No, this is a whole conspiracy.
And they are the funniest fucking thing I have ever read in my entire life. Let me go ahead and read one for you now. It's a letter from Pizza Hut to DMI regarding a meeting they recently had. July 6, 1999. Dear Greta, we wanted to express our thanks once again for a wonderful meeting last week. We appreciate your team taking the time to share some very valuable information and creativity during our brainstorming session. Everyone is very excited about the presentation you gave regarding DMI's available.
You know what the brainstorming session really was? Miss Gita Gale is like, girl, like boy, we have too much cheese. You need to buy that cheese. We'll give you cheese. We don't have to pay much. Just take the damn cheese. And Pizza Hut is like, yep. Imagine you work as manager cheese marketing. Derek Correa, Lord of the Cheese. Liskin Lawler, Lady of the Cheese. These names are amazing. Gita Gale's got the Gouda. This is hilarious. This is amazing. Imagine 10k years ago, humanity found heaven food, and all thanks for a peace treat with the neighbor tanks, the cows. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Resources and cheese industry insights. We look forward to working together to develop many cheese ideas we've discussed. We believe this is going to be a valuable partnership for both Pizza Hut and DMI. Let's sell more pizza and more cheese! Exclamation point. Thank you again for coming to Dallas. We look forward to talking to you soon about our partnership opportunities. We will call you next week to discuss the next steps. Sincerely, Derek, Lord of the Cheese, and Liskrin, Lady of the Cheese. Even they know that this is a fucking joke. Why is this such a joke? Well, because Dairy Management Incorporated, while it is a non-profit, they don't actually have to raise money for themselves like most non-profits do, because they're also a government checkoff program, which means every dairy farmer in America is legally required, whether they want to or not, to send this company money so that they can advertise on their behalf. And their annual budget is like $140 million a year, with their CEO and top level executives all making right around $1 million per year. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you there is a group of people in America getting paid $1 million to convince Americans that cheese is awesome. Okay.
That's so weird. That sounds so weird. Yeah, imagine like you have a literal lobby behind cheese, so you could like the Great Cheese Lobby, and they try to manipulate you into buying more cheese and consuming more cheese, and living just the American dream. Is just cheese. The American dream is just cheese. America's built on cheese.
Okay, that's like trying to fucking explain to Stevie Wonder what nothing looks like and getting paid $1 million for it. He already fucking knows that, okay? It makes no goddamn sense. Cheese is so fucking good that it is the one thing on earth that if you were allergic to it, we're not gonna say you have a cheese allergy. No, you're lactose intolerant. We're not gonna say you're allergic because we all know you're gonna eat that shit anyways because the consequences are worth it. Am I upset right now? A little bit. Is it because I'm jealous?
Cheese so good, you gotta shit yourself.
Uh-huh, it's basically selling ass candles to dogs and getting paid $1 million for it. It is the most ridiculously easy job on the planet, and I'm so mad that it's not mine. Anyways, I guess if you made it this far in the Unhinged TED Talk, in conclusion, the US government banned alcohol in the 1920s. It set forth a ripple effect through time, and now some dude in 2023 has my dream job of making $1 million a year to convince people of some shit they already knew. And the US has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese hidden in an underground cave network. Fucking the more you know, I guess. Thanks for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang. Out. I'm gonna go eat some fucking cheese.
There we know it, the cheese propaganda. How does one become lady of the cheese? Probably CEO levels of, I don't know, you gotta just, I don't know, own like half the cheese or something like that. So all we got from this is that, essentially, they banned alcohol, they had too much milk, they didn't know what to do with the milk, made cheese, made even more cheese, and now we have the Great Cheese Conspiracy. That's all we have. There's just bajillions of cheese in the US now. I'm gonna move to the US. I'm gonna break into that bunker. I'm gonna steal like a good portion of cheese. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe.